This is Jim Townsend at InfoStrat, and I'm thrilled to present Pierre Hulsebus at Microsoft. He's going to be demonstrating Microsoft Connected Field Service.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. My name is Pierre Hulsebus, and today we're going to talk through what we at Microsoft refer to as Connected Field Service, and we're really going to define what that means, and we'll talk through some of the success stories and benefits of some of these organizations, of our early adopters. We're really working through, as James is saying, this kind of release in the fall of this Connected Field Service solution. So we're going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek. Some of it a little rough around the edges still. We're not exactly there with the complete experience, but you'll be able to see, hopefully get the understanding of what we're trying to do, and talk really about the productivity benefits, and just hopefully spark some discussion and imaginative conversations and ideas around how this could benefit various agencies across the space. So first really is the question is what is Connected Field Service? What are we talking about here? Connected Field Service starts with the devices, Internet of Things, intelligent smart devices that are communicating back data of this kind of telemetry and status information, whether that's temperatures or air quality, all different levels of information that these devices can send back and then being collected. And all of this communication is collectively known as the Internet of Things, of course, all of that hardware, and it's kind of a buzzword, everybody's heard it. And it's really the ability to take many devices, different types of equipment with different types of data, and bring it back into a central system. Kind of once it's in this central system, you can use our technology to sift through all of this kind of ocean of data. One of the terms with the products that we have, we call it the data lake, and I love that concept because it really often, when you think about thousands of devices sending out a status alert, this is my temperature, every 5 seconds for a year, that's a lot of data, right? That's current temperatures and all of this. That's a lake, an ocean of data. So sifting through all of that and finding levels of significance through all of that is really critical to building a useful solution to problems. So if the equipment can't be fixed remotely, or as they sift through all of this oceans of data using things like machine learning or analytics, these are some of the tools that are in that that identify that an issue is happening, and it sends the information onto a system that can take action. And that's where we talk today about the Connected Field Services, where we're creating a trouble ticket or a case, or using automated processes to send diagnostic information back, or dispatching a service technician. And so this is really the key. It's not so much just analyzing all the data, but being able to take action on it. And we all know that the Dynamics platform, that's what it's really built to do, is be the system of action, whether that's responding to a customer's request for information or sending somebody out to handle a specific issue. So and then we want to be able to show analytics back, again feeding this information back to show maybe how long it takes to do things, or show patterns, or raise alerts on trends inside of that data. So this is really where the kind of the vision for Connected Field Services is. Now, a lot of the early adopters in public sector organizations and organizations like yourselves, what we find is they're able to make this leap from the commercial space to public sector kind of application of commercial technology. So you guys should be aware in that context of a couple different pieces of information. One is the IoT space is predicted to be probably one of the largest opportunities for hardware and software vendors that we've seen for a long time. And so you've probably heard a lot about it, but Gartner predicts that this is going to be about 25 billion devices that will be connected, that we'll be able to connect to. So that's a lot of stuff. And what that really translates for us as kind of consumers and users of these technologies is that there's going to be broad support in lots of different aspects from the hardware devices that we need, like temperature sensors, like air control, things like audio sensors that detect loud noises at construction sites, gunshots, whether that's GPS telemetric data that is sent from equipment as it moves, or buses, or offenders that have the ankle bracelets on. All of that kind of works inside of this space. I'm just going to touch base on two commercial organizations that are part of this process. The first one is ThyssenKrupp. They're an organization that is really one of the largest providers of elevators in the world. And they decided a couple years ago that they really wanted to be proactive and not reactive in servicing their equipment. And so they teamed up with Microsoft to develop a solution that securely connects all these sensors that sit inside the elevators that monitor everything from the motor temperature to shaft alignment, the speed, the door functions, all the different things that go into making that elevator work properly. And of course, what they're really looking to do is ensure that that elevator has maximum usage and uptime, and they're using the system to predict when things are going to need maintenance, as opposed to waiting for something to break and then having a customer call that has, the building, now people are waiting in the lobby longer and not happy about coming into the place. So, these are a big area for a lot of the smart city kind of initiatives, where we're trying to reach out and provide hardware support, but it's one thing to be able to see that all on a big dashboard, but it's another thing, again, to take that through from an alarm standpoint to into actual action. A really great example of that, one more, and then we're kind of done with the commercial spaces, Rolls-Royce. And there's been several demos of this solution, and we can send you additional links to this. I have a really short video I just want to show you. It takes about 1.5 minutes or so, but just to get a sense for the manufacturer here, what they're really doing. If we start to think about the transformation of selling a very expensive piece of equipment like this, an engine. An engine on a plane is typically sold to the air carrier, right? It's part of the airplane, and it's a product that was sold, and then the customer would figure out, kind of maintenance schedules for these based on the usage. Rolls-Royce is really part of a business transformation process, where they're building in to this device many sensors that can relay back not only to the end-using customers, but to their own engineers and technicians, the things like fuel consumption and temperature and different aspects of the engine, and they can see that in real time back as the plane is flying, which is, to me, amazing that they can get all this information back in real time while it's over the ocean. And this allows them then to create an awesome service experience for their customer, right? So the customer basically is, as the plane lands, they already have been looking at the engine and figured out, we maybe should schedule this pump to be replaced. It looks like it's going to be replaced. So it's a part of what they're trying to deliver to their customers. And I know a lot of organizations are looking to this type of model to try to manage a great experience for their customers by utilizing this type of thing. So this is an example of that, kind of from the viewpoint of a customer that would consume this. So let me just show this little quick video here.
an airline pilot, I know that to fly with the best, you need to work with the best. With over 13,000 engines in operation around the globe, Rolls-Royce provides the services to maintain them at peak performance. Today, each engine has thousands of sensors that can produce terabytes of data on long-haul flights. Making sense of all that data is critical in transporting my passengers safely and efficiently. Rolls-Royce uses Azure IoT Suite to analyze data remotely and deliver real-time, actionable insights to me and to the airlines about engine performance and operational efficiencies. Advanced analytics help us optimize fuel economy, anticipate maintenance needs, and avoid costly downtime and delays. A single unscheduled disruption and its knock-on effect to a fleet and the passengers can cost an airline up to $1 million a day. With early notice, our team can proactively have parts at the right place and time, reducing inventory costs and maximizing availability. Up to 1/3 of a plane's weight is fuel. As a pilot, I decide how much fuel my plane carries. Insights into engine efficiency, weather conditions, flight path, and scheduled landings impact my decision. Cortana Intelligence helps me choose the optimal fuel level to maximize efficiency. With 40% of our operating budget devoted to fuel, even a small percentage reduction can save us tens of millions of dollars each year. Microsoft and Rolls-Royce, reaching new heights in customer value.
All right, so that's just an example, again, of an IoT project that where they're really trying to focus the solution around a customer experience, right? So there's several different things that make that work. One is a system that collects all the data, manages it, and that connects it to the user. So these projects can be very complicated. I don't want to scare anybody, but it's often an issue of scale when the assets are spread all over the place, connecting devices, ingesting all the data from these devices and doing the analysis of all of that. And so it's really great to figure out a good strategy. We do have a couple different points we'd like to make around the strategy. First is really having a strong business case, understanding what the KPIs are, knowing what success looks like, making sure that they have your own internal customers, and then also even external personas identified, like in the case of Rolls-Royce, considering how their initiative would impact a pilot would be important. And so in many of these scenarios that we have in the public sector space, whether that's in criminal justice or in inspections, there's always a internal set of users that we're trying to help in terms of productivity and getting things done in an efficient manner, but there's also a community-facing component typically that goes into that. So there's lots of personas to consider in terms of generating the right experience for everyone. So KPIs is a really big important part of this. So somebody like a Rolls-Royce and these different commercial spaces have drilled into understanding what's really driving these. And these are commercial ideas and commercial KPIs, but your organization would have very similar ones, things around productivity and efficiencies that can happen, the ability to respond to things quicker, to be proactive and lower the replacement cost of equipment so I can predict when things have to happen. Compliance, in ensuring we have compliance with certain measurements that we're doing. So if we have the ability to measure air quality in certain areas on an ongoing basis, we can give very good baselines and see improvements over time. So starting small and having a good solution is really important. One of my favorite slides to show is this one right here, because often in a Microsoft demo, what you'll see is this kind of solution over here. It'll be this really neat kind of finished, polished solution that shows you maybe what an IoT solution will be for a a trucking company. And we all look at that and many times we go, that is great, but you know, I think complicated, visual, it's very sophisticated, which is awesome, but expensive, and it takes a long time to do that. One of the things that we're doing in this fall release for Dynamics is delivering a pre-configured solution that lets you get started quickly with an end-to-end solution that allows us to do remote monitoring and remote diagnostics for these for different set of IoT devices. So the plumbing is within the solution that we're going to be delivering this fall. So I'm not going to show you this kind of imaginary demo. I'm going to show you actually something that we're trying to work on, right, where we're building right now that connects to the IoT suite. So the IoT suite's a term that I keep using, so it's a point of discussion for a moment here. What the IoT suite is, it's a full end solution that allows you to connect all the different devices, and it is a set of solutions and pre-configured dashboards and rules and event engines that allow us to connect all these devices to get something done very quickly. So the suite, when you think of suite, you think of different products, right? So we have the Office suite that has Word and Excel. Same kind of situation. When you look at Azure, there's a lot of different products in that solution, lots of different things, from database management to dashboarding to business intelligence. When we talk about the Internet of Things, it's a subset of several of those things that make up the full solution, right? So we've got connectivity management that needs to happen that addresses things like security and key management and integrating, you know, millions of devices or lots of data. There's this ingestion process. There's what we call stream analytics to be able to process that ongoing stream of data and then raise up when things are significant and not just, you know, collect all this information. Workflow becomes part of this because when something is raised up in that analytic engine and says this is significant, we want to be able to, you know, kind of manage notifications and get people involved in making something happen. And then, of course, visualizations that exist inside of that solution too. So there's some pre-configured solutions in there for this. So the IoT suite connector is what we're doing. So we've now covered that kind of device IoT aspect of the connected field service, but a actionable task or service request without the actual action is, you know, kind of like a fire alarm going off when there's no fire department to go do it. We want to get the firemen, you know, in front of the fire to take care of the business. So this is where this Dynamics you know, platform comes into play. The field service application, you know, is that kind of automated link, you know, and as we've talked in the past about field services from Dynamics, from Microsoft. This is a solution that has a pretty broad set of capabilities, from managing inventory to a mobility solution and doing ongoing maintenance and routing stuff automatically and schedule and dispatch. So we're going to just focus here. I'm going to do a little bit and show you kind of what that looks like from the field services with this connected field services here. So let me kind of switch over to that here. All right. So in our solution, I have a thermostat that, in this case, it's a virtual thermostat that is sending out telemetry information on an ongoing basis. And here I can tweak the temperature, and it will now send various different temperature data back into the system. And so inside of the field service application, inside of the field service system, those show up as what we call service alerts. When the temperature exceeds, in this scenario, the temperature is exceeding a threshold. So we've set a threshold up in the Azure Machine Learning system, and whenever the temperature exceeds that on its kind of ping, it will raise up a service alert. So this is kind of the stream of service alerts out of the system over the last couple days. So as you see, this is just the bad ones, not all the good ones. So this is why that kind of data lake model, we want to kind of have the Azure IoT kind of holding that up in the cloud, and then only sending us in the system when things are exceeded. All of the service alerts are connected into assets, and assets are connected into accounts or locations. So if I look at a location, this is building 12 here, and I'm looking at a set of, where building 12 is, and this is a record inside of the Dynamics platform, and it's showing me things that have happened over time. As temperature comes in and exceeds, it's creating activities in the system. This record or entity within this organization, shows me who the contact informations are, what cases I've been working on. It shows me all the assets and work orders, and also the ongoing service alerts that have been coming in over the last few days on this particular piece. So the specific service alert here is one where the threshold is exceeding a certain amount of time. Let me go over here. So this is coming in, and again, this is where I was telling you, so we get a little polish, you'll see a little more polish on this. This is kind of the pre-release stuff here. So you're seeing kind of literally the raw data that's coming from that device. So on 9/1, it raised this alert. And this is the actual string of data that comes from that particular system. I'm able to do a couple things with this. The Dynamics platform has a workflow engine, and so I can say, when this service alert happens, I want you to go and create a work order for me. So the system does that. I can do work orders in this, or I can have the system create cases also. So we have a couple different options of how you want to respond to these things. Sometimes when we work with these devices, it is a two-way street. So not only do I want to send commands into the Dynamics platform, but I also want to send commands from the Dynamics platform out back to the device. So I might have a what is your current temperature command that I want to send. So there's a little box up here that says send command, and you can see it's opening up my little window here. And this is another little area that we're working on right now of having, in most organizations, they're going to want to have a little bit of a library of messages to send. Right now, it's a little bit of cut and paste to send the actual string. One of the things about this world of IoT devices is a lot of these types of commands they're transported like an email, so to speak. So there's a kind of a standard layer that they're using, but the actual commands are going to be obviously proprietary to the particular device. So so we're working kind of through this process of what this should look like and kind of how we would interact with this. But nonetheless, sometimes before I go out or dispatch a person, I might want to send some commands to this and have it send it back to me and do it all within this experience without kind of alt-tabbing out to something else. With that said, in this solution here, we have created a work order. So if you're not familiar with the field service application, the work order is this entity within the system that connects that account and location information to the actual people that are going to go and do the work, who are the resources that we're going to send out to do the actual work. And so the work order at this point now is ready to be resourced or sent to somebody to actually do the actual work. So work orders in this environment are a connection between the customer or the location of the work, the actual resource to do the job, and the time and effort that it's going to take, and a little bit of the geography comes into place. So here, for example, we call this the schedule board. This is a ubiquitous view that a lot of organizations put up in monitors throughout their organization to kind of show where are the work orders currently, who's assigned to what work order. Here we're viewing work orders that are set up. These work orders have different colors. They represent individuals that are assigned to work orders, and in real time it's showing me the status of those work orders. So I've got some resources that are out there, and I have this particular work order here that is unassigned. It's not assigned to anybody. Now there's a couple different ways that I can manage these kind of work orders. I can, drag work orders from down here up onto a schedule board. This is one way to do this. So I can, if I look at my board here, I can kind of go, let's take a work order number 17 and we'll give it to Simon. So I can drag and drop work orders on there. But another way, and one that's most common for our customers, is to utilize what we call the scheduling assistant. The scheduling assistant allows us to basically manage getting a couple pieces of data together in a very simple experience for somebody. The schedule assistant takes into account things like the characteristics of the work order. So that particular work order requires access to the building. Individuals that can do the work, they have these characteristics. So not everybody may have these characteristics. So it's showing me who the particular people are that are available for this work, how long it would take them to travel. Again, this takes into account the location of the work and the geography of all the different resources that are available in the time frame that I need them to be available. So in here I just effectively pick the person that I want to do it, and I hit schedule and close. And what that does is that then generates this work order, or assigns this work order over to a specific person. So work orders at that point, here these work orders are assigned down here, I can see, to Brady. Brady has the ability to change the status, and I'm going to move over to my mobile device here, but to change the status to reflect to everybody what they're doing with the work order. So as we go over to the mobile device, let me get on my mobile here.
Pierre, while you're doing that, I will let folks ask any questions that they might have at this point. So what we've been seeing so far, the device part of it has been in Azure, and these screens that you're showing us right now, that's actually in CRM with the field service solution installed. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, this is the field service application here.
And you were saying that that's in Office 365 right now, and a new release is coming in the fall that will have some of the things that we've shown that are still in development.
Yes. Yep. All right, let me get mobile. All right, so yeah, here, let me pull this over here. So in this one, I'm on an Android tablet. Our solution has a mobile component that is included. There's no additional cost for this. So again, as you kind of transmit or transfer over from, you know, the kind of the operational side from you know, the system here that's resourcing and dispatching over to the person that's actually out there doing the work, that's where the mobile experience comes into play. So this particular mobile experience here on my tablet is something that works on Android, it works on Apple, it works on the Windows mobile devices, and also Windows 10. It's a configure once, deploy to all those devices kind of model. And on here, on this device, it contains, you know, the work that I need to do. we refer to those as bookings. They show here on my schedule that I have a work order that's been assigned to me on my schedule. So when I look at my week, I've got a work order that I want to work on today. So as I open up the work order, I'm able to change the status, like we were saying, on the fly to, I'm actually traveling. So now I'm, let's say, I'm in progress, working on this. This also contains the GPS location of where this particular work needs to happen. And up here on the right-hand side is the Google Maps, because I'm on a Google kind of device, an Android device. So I'm having problems with mine. I ran out of space on my tablet. I think my I think my movies have overtaken all of my space on this device. Anyways, so on my work order, let me get back here on my work order. So again, it contains GPS data, and then also the specifics of the work order itself. Where I need to go, what are the things that I need to do, so that the tasks that are assigned to here, like if, for example, I need to do an inspection here on this particular one. As part of this inspection, there's some tasks that come as part of that particular inspection, tasks that I need to complete, maybe even products that I need to do in terms of keep track of from an inventory standpoint or a charging standpoint. On the mobile device, it also does allow me to do things like collecting signatures, so I can sign have the customer sign on the dotted line, put Pierre on there. We're also able to interact with the hardware that's on this device here. So if I need to, for example, include a picture of this on this device, I see my storage is full, so it doesn't like my picture here, but I can take a picture and interact with the local hardware on this machine. So this is what happens on the mobile device. Now this, as I save and close these changes, this is all synchronized back to the, I'm just going to discard changes. This is all synchronized back to the system. So it allows the folks to work offline. There we go. It allows everybody to work offline. So my disk is full on this anyway. So that's what the mobile experience is for users. And so you are able to really equip your mobile folks with a device and a solution that doesn't require them even to log into the main core application. And often there is a lot of benefit for doing that, of thinking through the workloads of that mobile worker and figuring out ways that we can eliminate, sending them emails with here's a list of tasks, that kind of stuff. We can just have them have a work order that contains the list of the things, and it's all kind of standardized and handled through this experience. So, wow. And again, that data rolls back, in real time as these services happen, back into to the dashboard to kind of show what's going on inside of that environment. So.
Well, and one of the most exciting things is this doesn't require programming or development. This is just out there, supported by Microsoft. If you go to the Play Store on your Android, you'll see that there's an app called Field Service Mobile from Microsoft Corporation, and all you have to do is install it. And once you connect it up to your CRM, it will look just the way that Pierre's looked.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. And it follows all of the security models of users, and it's all encrypted locally on the device, so it handles all of the kind of security things that we're concerned about when we want to go out to a kind of have a mobility solution with sensitive data on it. So we want to make sure it's all encrypted on that local device and can be remotely wiped. Things like GPS information are logged where people are at as they use that device. All of that logging can be incorporated into the system. So.
Well, and Microsoft has the headache of maintaining compatibility with all the various flavors of devices and the changes in security policies that are constantly arising. Um,
Yeah, so earlier this year, this technology we're using right now is based on technology called Xamarin, not to get super technical at all, but there's a lot in the news last year about that. When we bought that company. This platform we've used for many years actually for this particular solution it uses that methodology and that technology. So Xamarin's one of those type of kind of development languages that the system uses that supports all the kind of write once, deploy on all these different platforms. So it's kind of a framework, and this field service application has really been curated to maximize that kind of experience for that remote worker, right? So this system has legacy in that very kind of world where you've got kind of the good old heating and cooling folks going out and fixing air conditioners. That we've got customers that have been using this same kind of solution for many years. So it's a pretty mature version on that mobile platform. So it's been around for a little bit. So I've only got a few things, to summarize. We start with collecting and scaling all of that information. Once the data is collected, in the IoT suite, it makes it easy to analyze the data. Now that we kind of have that insights, we can take action into the system, and that's where we can keep track of what's going on, have that level of accountability that we need with our customers and with the citizens and the people that kind of count on us every day to get the job done, the kind of people that we report to, and to make sure things are getting done as they're managed, and then communicate that the results of this out to those different folks, whether that's our mobile workers, whether that's exposing the status of this information to customers and to our citizens through portals. There's so many different ways that we can communicate that information, but that's kind of what we want to do, this kind of persistent automated kind of methodologies to show this real-time display of information all to our users and our constituents.
Pierre, thank you so much. This is really a fascinating demo, and it's exciting to be able to see a product before it's generally available. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, we're excited about these opportunities. We think this is, especially for the type of customers, it's such an important part of, our experience as citizens to be able to support, the folks that are, kind of doing it every day and making our world a better place, and we want to be part of that and helping them support. That's just part of the DNA of our company. Core is to really improve everybody's productivity, and we really feel this is just a fantastic kind of direction, and we want to help everybody that's part of our customer base be aware of this and leverage this great technology.
Let me just ask a couple questions then, Pierre. So the connected part is part of the fall wave.
Yes. Yeah, so that's part of the fall release, is this kind of this connector, if you will, that standardizes this this connection between the IoT suite and Dynamics CRM.
So if somebody wanted to get started right away, they could go ahead and get started with the field service in CRM, and they could independently get something going in the Azure IoT suite.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, absolutely. All the stuff that that we're doing and have delivered for these different customers have been things that there's actually not a lot, I won't say a lot of secret sauce in there, because we're using the standard API frameworks. It's just trying to come up with a nice pre-configured solution so we can lower the development efforts. But this stuff can be built right now using all the off-shelf technology. We're just packaging this up in the fall with a really easy-to-use pre-configured set of solutions and connectors already. So.
Well, thanks everybody for joining. I will be posting this and sending out a link if you'd like to watch this. I would also urge you to take a look at our earlier webinar on Dynamics Field Service. We took a little bit closer look at some of the built-in pieces of the solution for scheduling and managing task orders and that type of thing. Thanks again, and please keep us in mind for our next webinars.